I'm back with the virtual guitars today, and I'm looking at the Gibson Les Paul Custom guitar, which I mentioned on the last video that I did that these are named really badly, these plugins. So the A stands for Amplesound, the G I think stands for guitar, because you've got B as well, which are bass guitars, and the G is what stands for Gibson, so you've got G Gibson, F Fender, or 12 string. So yeah, it's a bit confusing, but you get used to it after a while. So let's put this plugin in here and load it up initially, and this is what we get straight out of the box. You have our familiar environment for the Amplesound plugins. Everything you would expect: the main section, the strummer, the riffer, the tab, the effects, and for this, well, it's not really a tutorial, but for this kind of demonstration, I'm not going to use the effects in here. I don't particularly like the effects. They work well, but they are quite limiting. They really are just kind of basic sort of pedal effects that you would have with a guitar. They don't allow the kind of flexibility that you can do in plugins such as Guitar Rig. So I'm going to use Native Instruments Guitar Rig together with this, and also the RC48 Reverb plugin from Native Instruments as well. All great stuff, you know, all kind of part of complete sets, and I don't know, a lot of people use these type of plugins for their musical and audio production stuff. But let's take I've got my keyboard here in front of me. I'm using a 25 key keyboard again, so a bit limited on the range, but we can either play it from the neck with the neck pickup or the bridge pickup. We've got a choice of the two. They sound, the bridge pickup typically sounds much brighter than the neck. I actually prefer the neck. Oh, we've already got our reverb on there actually. I left that on. So there's the guitar raw out of the box, as I say, and here's the bridge. I'm just playing the EAD GBE, so all the strings open. Okay, right, first things first, I'm going to do this playing with the neck pickup, and I think this is really all we need to do on this one. We don't need anything else set within the plugin itself. But the guitar, I mean, like all electric guitars, this sounds all right by itself. You know, it has a very particular sound by itself, but really electric guitars are used together with effects and together with EQ and reverb to create that really, really distinctive sound. So let's add some of that now onto here. And I'll go into my Native Instruments plugins and go to Guitar Rig. Oh great, that doesn't fit on my capture window. Well, that's a bit of a pain. That's going to be a bit of a pain to use. I can't fit it in the window I'm recording on. Ugh. Never mind. Okay, take a look in the components here, and the first thing I want to add is an amplifier. So I'm going to use the Hot Solo Plus for this. This might be quite loud actually, so I might have to just take down the volume on here a bit. So sorry if this is quite loud. All right, so the sound I'm trying to create is not one like that, really. I'm not trying to create a really overdriven sound. I'm trying to create quite a clean, I suppose a little bit like the kind of sound a very long tail reverb sound, but quite sort of like a band I mentioned quite a lot in my videos, it would seem, is London Grammar, and I really love the guitar, the very sort of airy, reverby vocals on their music, and that's, I suppose that's kind of the sound I'm after here. So we're gonna have to get rid of some of that drive, and so I can turn the preamp off for a starter. For starters, take the volume down. Okay, let's shove some of these up. And I don't necessarily want this cab with it, so let's select a different cabinet to go with it. Control Room Pro. I always like this one. We'll go with this Citrus one here, and the Rib 160, which is actually a biodynamic microphone. In Native Instruments stuff, they model everything on very specific stuff, but they just can't call it that for legal reasons, I suppose. But they still, you can look all this stuff up and find out exactly what these are modeled on. For example, here we have the, hang on, where is there? This one here. The Con 87 is the Neumann U87 microphone. It just is. So that's just how they work. So I'm going to use this one, which is a biodynamic. I forget the model of this particular one. Okay, so still quite driven there. Add some compression maybe to that. We're going to add the reverb separately, so we're not going to worry too much about reverb in here. So dynamics. Just stick a fast compressor on here. Right, that doesn't sound too bad like that. We're getting somewhere with this anyway. Maybe that's still a little bit too rough. All right, so we've got a reasonable sound on the microphone. On the guitar itself. Now let's stick a load of reverb on it. Let's just show a ton of reverb on. I'm going to close that down. We'll say that's good enough for now. And we'll stick a ton of reverb on and see how it sounds. So let's just send all that we can to this RC48 plugin, which is this one here. Okay, yeah, that sounds quite nice. That's pretty much what I'm after. Nice for kind of solo guitars or little sort of high repetitive stuff going on, just a little bit in the background. How high does this? Hold on. Okay, it's not too intensive, so we're not talking about kind of Top Gun style. No, it's not really good enough for that. It's not the right setting for that. But okay, well, we'll go with that, and let's just play something over it. So not massive. Let's bring Maschine into this track here and load something up in here. I'm going to have to say, oh no, good, that's already coming from the computer keyboard. Excellent. And re-enable both these tracks in the record and load up something in Halcyon Sky, Clear Sky. That'll do. Load this up in here, and I'm just going to play this and just see how it sounds, and play along with it or what have you, and I don't know. We'll just see what happens. You get the idea anyway. So there we go. I mean, that's using the Gibson Les Paul custom guitar from Amplesound. It's just a virtual guitar that really flexible. I mean, I've only used a very simple sort of setup there using 3 sets of plugins. So the Amplesound guitar plugin, the guitar rig plugin from Native Instruments, and the RC48 Reverb plugin. And we're really just playing this in its most basic form. You know, we're not using any of the additional functionality here at all that I looked over in the first video I did of these. But even just like that, you know, you can do some great playing around and just get a nice kind of feel for what sounds good. And I think, you know, that nice reverby, sort of airy guitar sounds great over that type of music. So anyway, don't know what you think. If you like the plugins, check them out on their website. This is not an advert for them. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. They're just the plugins I use to do guitar stuff. So thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed this. I will catch you soon.